Hello, hello, hello. Happy full moon. We are observing collectively a full moon in the sign of Aquarius. Um, we, I took my boys to get ramen last night, and my youngest, who's an Aquarius, was crying the entire, not the entire, but he really felt the need to like express himself to his brothers and like say all of the things and like just very hypersensitive, which is not actually he usually expresses in other ways, like things that we're used to Aquarians doing, really speaking his mind, but being creative, um, performative, theatrical. Um, but last night it was just about the tears. So, um, we have the sun, of course, now in Leo. Welcome to Leo season. Happy birthday to all of the Leos. And so, hypersensitivity, y'all think cancers. But Leo, got it bad, got it honest. And I'm a Leo rising. So, we are in for, with this moon and over the next few weeks, a reacquaintance with our triggers, with our insecurities, with our sensitivities, and allowing that to inform us of really speak to, using that information, right? Aquarian, divine mind, using that information to speak to our hearts so that we can have more courage, be brave, discern what's true, and understand that oftentimes our triggers or what triggers us is not the fault of anyone else, but it's wounds that continue to need parenting. And particularly when we're talking about Leo, not that nurturing energy of Cancer, but more of that execution, that discipline, that creativity, but through tangible means of all of the things that we've repressed and put aside because it's scary to live outside of the boxes that we placed ourselves in for comfort, for security, and because it feels good and we finally mastered some things. And why change? Like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And that's true, right? And at the same time, Aquarius wants us to expand our thoughts so that what's good can be great, what's working can serve better, and serve more. And so I started already our guidance for today with the Braziando Tools for Living, the Adinkra Ancestral Guidance Cards, which is a combination of Akan symbols from the people of Ghana, and I believe it's the Gaiman people of Cote d'Ivoire. I never know how to say that country. Sorry, y'all. And yeah, so I'm really excited about this. The creator actually is now an ancestor, and so it's a really powerful and special deck. And we'll also be using the Dust to Onyx deck by Courtney Alexander. If you're new here, I'm Tamil. I'm the founder of Overflow. I channel messages for the collective on the full moon and, of course, monthly. And the full guidance that I have every month for all signs, for each individual signs, is available in our private membership space called The Sanctuary. So you are welcome to join that space as we get prepared for a new month and a new season. So the two symbols that we got, apparently this is the king of the Adinkra symbols. It's Adinkrahini. And then two councils of state is the meaning of this second symbol, which is Kuronti ni Akwamu. Okay, and so This is a symbol of democracy, sharing ideas and taking counsel. And the king of the symbols represents leadership and charisma. So look at how in both symbols, right, there is a very clear independence, but there's a coming together. And so the coming together or the expansion of each other is when we are solid within ourselves, right? And when we can really show up as our whole self, we will then not only be of greater service, right, but also get to experience each other in new ways. If you have things that are meant to be shared and you are not sharing them, you aren't only letting yourself down, right, or not living into what your higher self is wanting you to live into, but you're also letting the collective down. And I know that sounds very like shamey, and it's not that. It's more of like, do you know how valuable you are? Do you know how necessary you are? Do you know how many people there are? And so you taking up space and being a leader in your own life is kind of a requirement of being here, right? You don't have to be the expert on all things. You don't even have to be the expert on anything, but you're being invited to show up to your life with more passion, and to open yourself up to experience those passionate exchanges with others. This doesn't even have to be about anything that you do for income or for a living, though it is very clear that that's a call for us to step up into greater authority, especially where we already have mastery, and to stretch a little bit more. That's very clear here. But when it comes to community building, there is a call for us to really get firmly planted in community, people who are in close proximity to us and people who are in close proximity to our hearts, because there is something cooking. It's not necessarily clear what that is, but it is clear that the people who are in your life right now, there needs to be an intentional nurturing of these relationships, and also a clear expression of yourself, so that people know in your network and in your community that you are this thing. Even if it's many things, it is very clear that you need to show yourself. Okay? This doesn't mean that you have to, I feel like I say this all the time. I think I said it to Cancer in July. And I'm squirming in my chair because it's very uncomfortable for us to let ourselves be seen, right? So this doesn't mean you have to tell everybody what it is that you're doing, but to the people who you know it may be potentially interested, you can share. Does that mean they're going to automatically do whatever it is or take you up on whatever it is that you're offering? No, but they may know somebody, or they may file it in their mental library for when they are ready or whatever. And there's no pressure here, right? There's no pressure here. It's about the building blocks coming together. And the power of this also is that there's no expectation. There is no required transaction in letting your light shine. You just do it knowing that whoever and is a good fit for whatever, it will naturally come together. You matter. And your goals and your dreams matter. And even if you're not necessarily clear on what those goals are yet. Part of that is because we are still building our community and our network, and who we are and how we're supposed to serve isn't clear yet really until all of those pieces are together as well. Because you may also be the missing piece to somebody else's puzzle, right? So it's like somebody else has potentially done all of this work already, and you just slide in and fit in, because that is a powerful part of connection and allowing yourself to be seen. It's not always that you have to build from the ground up. We're used to that, but things are so much easier when we allow ourselves to be a part of the whole. Thank you, Spirit. I will read leadership and charisma. This symbol is reportedly the inspiration for the design of other symbols. This card is asking you to step into a leadership position within your life, your relationships, and your thoughts. Do not be afraid to step into your power. You cannot hide from the work or hard decisions that are needed to achieve success. You have the support of your ancestors. Go confidently. So some affirmations or some additional meanings for this card. It is safe for you to be powerful. Take comfort in this. Assert yourself in a way that does not alienate. So what does that mean? You don't have to be loud. There's a grace and a almost an assumptory, or I don't know if that's the word. There's when you don't have to ask for permission, you don't need to make any loud announcements, right? You just need to move. So it's not like when you say something, people are like, well, I guess I'm not the type of person that she would need in this project that she's working on. And what's coming through is like sometimes we have a chip on our shoulder, and so when we like announce what we're doing or whatever, it's like, okay, well, go do that then. And other people are like, what is she? You know what I'm saying? So with you, I'm saying she because I'm using myself, but if you just do it, right? Like, go confidently, feel the fear, but do it anyway. And then let's read the second one. Democracy, dialogue, sharing ideas, and taking counsel. Feel encouraged to take counsel from a trusted source. Share your ideas and concerns while heeding the signs that will be forthcoming once you open up. 2 heads are better than 1 is one of the additional meanings for this card. The sharing of knowledge empowers, and seek advice. So a good leader does not think that they have all of the answers, and they know that you need others to basically scale or to make this circle larger or to expand or to have greater impact. So apparently it is decidedly, we are decidedly talking about leadership in the traditional sense. But when it comes to relationships and community building, if it's something that is not within your skill set, then you can, or it's just something a muscle you've never stretched before because you've been in isolation. And I don't mean like the COVID isolation. I mean that you haven't really been in a position that you've cultivated a strong network. Ask people who have strong networks, like, how do you handle all of that? Like, what does it require of you energetically? And I think what you'll find is it really is just about sincerity, and it is just about consideration is what I'm hearing. So let's get into the reading. We have Justice, Little Blade, the Shaman, and Mama Gourd with 2 of Blades at the bottom of the deck. And with the Two of Blades here, I'm almost feeling like we're at a crossroads to take ourselves, to make some decisions, Ten of Staffs at the bottom, that will definitely enlarge our territory. Signing new contracts, making large purchases or investments, creating a new way of operating just generally in our business, whether that's like creating like documents, legal formations and structures of the business and things like that. But it feels more like systems to me. Budgeting. We're doing a lot of self-assessing, and it's good. And it feels like we're having to make a bunch of little shifts that will ultimately make a big impact. But with Little Blade here, it's like there's a lot that we don't know, and you just have to be okay with the fact that you just don't know it. But it doesn't matter that you don't know. Your higher self does know, like your ancestors do know, like the path that you're on, even though you've never walked down it before, you've gone ahead of yourself to be in the exact right position that you're in now. And so you have to trust that, Mama Gourd. You have to trust that intuition. You have to trust that you've already been crowned with the wisdom, the skills, the discernment, the knowledge, not even just the wisdom, not even just the intuition, the actual look at what's been gained, look at where you are, look at what you've already created, look at what you've already done for yourself. And like kind of big yourself up. Like that's a really big confidence builder to be like, oh, wait. I'm actually already here. What we're doing is preparing for Virgo season. We need to look the part. That doesn't mean we have to go buy things. That means we need to start showing up for ourselves in a way that looks and feels like what we think we're not, like that we're not there yet. We need to spend more time planning and not going with the flow is great, but there needs to be structured a structured implementation of all of the visioning. So it's time to start putting things on paper. So that by the end of the year, Knight of Wands, will still be in this confident and joyous place. So we have so much power, like an energy supporting where we want to go and want to be, even if the end result or like is nowhere in sight. That's not the point right now. The point right now is to be so focused on ourselves that we're going to look up and be like, how did this even happen? It happened because every day we made small choices to honor where it is that we're going. So we're really at like from now, yes, like we're in the middle of like Q3 for those of you who are in corporate or in business. we're in the middle of the year, right? But it feels like just the beginning of a huge shift or a change that is coming in. And so what we do now, the little things that we do now, are going to, I don't want to say quantum shifts necessarily, because it doesn't feel like a timeline jump or anything like that. Feels like we're already solid on the timeline that we're on, or where we're supposed to be. There's no obstacles. It just feels like we will skip ahead if we're just focused now. Yes. So everything is as it should be, but you need to be consciously present to each day, each moment. As this does also relate to relationships of all types, being present to what people are saying, what people are, how people are behaving, and doing small acts of consideration, or like, yes, I'm paying attention. Yes, I'm observing. Yes, I'm here with you. This is what I can do to support you. This is what I need for support. That is going to ultimately put everyone in a position to receive, is what I'm hearing, their divine appointment. 4 of Cups at the bottom. It's like we're surrounded by soulmates, is how I'm feeling. Back with this Leo sun. And we have the power to speak life and just so much strength and resolve into not just ourselves. Like, there is a big focus of the self here with Leo, but this full moon in Aquarius is reminding us why it's so important to show up as clear and as focused in everything that we're doing, because it is going to have such a large impact. Emperor underneath that. 10 of Swords underneath that, and the Queen of Discs underneath that. So this is the season that we're leaving, right? The Chariot. And I'm just hearing like your labor has not been in vain. So any thoughts or feelings of why hasn't this happened the way it has, or I'm not really sure, honestly, because overall there is a feeling of general contentment and clarity that this moon is bringing. And okay, Spirit is saying that it's actually healing the mind so that new thoughts can be had about what's next. And a lot is being released around expectations of ourselves, so that we truly allow ourselves to create and manifest on the new timeline, and be supported, and allow ourselves to be supported so that we can dream new dreams. Because the old dreams underneath the Knight of Discs, or the King of Discs in the thought deck, we have the 5 of Swords, the Knight of Swords, and the 5 of Wands. So the old timeline, some of the thoughts that we're thinking are very limited and also very ego-based and rooted in comparison, rooted in scarcity, and rooted in the need to be validated when that's just not where we are anymore. And seeing what we've done for ourselves and coming back to this energy will help us, because we'll just be like, oh yeah, Nobody gave me permission to do any of these things up until now. What am I seeking? What am I reaching for? What am I trying to do? And who am I trying to do it for? And remember that, oh, okay, yeah, this actually is just about me living into my destiny. It's not about anything else. So all of that energy from that Capricorn full moon, all of that stern talking to, like, and you can go back and watch it if you don't remember, this is clearing now, and we are stronger, we are more empowered, and we are refreshed and ready to dream new dreams. So I love you. I hope this message resonates with you, and if it does, I invite you to join our community, the Sanctuary. It's a monthly membership. Okay, so I love you. Bye.